I have been creating content on Instagram for a little bit over a year and a half now, and it all started with sharing photos of Apple products. The attractive designs and clean aesthetics makes them really fun to photograph for just about any photographer. But when it comes to product photography, there are always challenges, whether it be poor lighting or, in my case, dust. So how are we going to combat this common enemy? Well, let me show you how I handle it, and hopefully you can benefit from it too. I always keep a clean microfiber and lens cloth nearby, so every time before I shoot, I would try to give everything a quick wipe down first. Sometimes I get really excited to shoot a particular product and forget the wipe down process, which I will end up paying for later. Because tiny specks of dust are really hard to see at a glance, so if you don't dust everything off beforehand, you will end up spending way more time cleaning them up when you're editing. I like shooting close-up shots because it can give it a different perspective, and because of this, the editing process could take a little bit longer due to the amount of details you will be capturing. For today's shot, I will be using my iPad Pro, iPhone 12 Pro, and the Apple Pencil. These are usually my go-to devices when I'm setting up an Apple shot. I usually like to bring out the products I'm about to shoot and arrange them in a way where the lines are straight and the spacing between them are perfectly balanced. I am using the white background of the table along with the matte black desk pad to try to make the photo a little more interesting. Oh, and by the way, my wife gave me this makeup brush, and it's probably one of the best tools I have for those crevices around the iPhone's camera. And this little dust blower, blaster, whatever you want to call it, it works wonders. My main camera is the Canon RP, and I really think this camera is underrated. At less than $1,000 for the body, this camera is the best bang for your buck in my opinion. And I like to use a tripod for all of my shots because I want to achieve the best possible quality. When I'm shooting, I usually like to have multiple lights set up, a softbox on one side and a dimmable LED light panel on the other, as well as utilizing a window for natural light. I also have this portable battery-powered RGB light that can be really useful to highlight a certain area of the subject I am shooting. These lights are very affordable, so if you're interested in them, I will leave a link in the description below. For my product shots, I like to use the fine detail style from Canon, and I have the colors and tones dialed down a notch. And one of the most important settings for me is the white balance. I like to go for the slightly cooler tones, so I almost always shoot at around 4200K. By using the camera's live display, I am able to preview exactly how my shot's going to look. I usually determine what aperture I'm wanting to shoot first, and then I adjust the shutter speed to achieve the exposure that I'm looking for. For just about every shot, I like to use the 2-second self-timer or the Bluetooth remote to release the shutter to eliminate any possible vibrations that could otherwise occur. Changing the height and angle of the camera can give you a different point of view, and it certainly helps having a motorized standing desk so I can save time from adjusting the legs on my tripod. I like to move the camera around to play with reflections off the surfaces of the iPhone and iPad, which can add a bit of creativity to the shots. Okay, I think that's enough shots for this session, so let's review what we got. I think these will do just fine. Now it's time for my favorite part, the editing process. Now I want to mention that I will briefly show you guys how I edit my photos, but this will not be a full-on tutorial. I used to edit all of my photos on my MacBook Pro, and I was only using Photoshop at the time. But up until a couple of years ago, when the 2018 model iPad Pro was released, I started editing all of my photos on there. And early last year, I upgraded to the 2020 12.9-inch iPad Pro, and I started to use Adobe Lightroom for all of my edits. When I'm traveling, I no longer pack my MacBook Pro, but my iPad goes with me everywhere. To import the photos, I am using the 5-in-1 USB-C Anker card reader hub from A-Logic. This little hub provides a USB-A port, a card reader, an audio jack, as well as a USB-C port that supports up to 60-watt power delivery. After I import all of the photos into Lightroom, I will then select the shots that I like best. I will flag the ones that I don't plan on keeping by tapping on the X key on the keyboard. Doing this helps me eliminate the ones I don't like so I can quickly delete them. Now if you have used Lightroom before, then you know that you can create your own presets, which is basically a combination of color saturations, brightness, and contrast that you previously saved. I don't have that many presets saved, but the ones I do have, I'm always tweaking. After selecting the one that I think looks best, I would then play around with these settings a little more to fine-tune the adjustments. There's really no right or wrong when it comes to editing. You just do what you think looks best to you, because after all, this is your creation. After I'm happy with the adjustments that I made, it's time to clean it up and remove the imperfections. And for this process, I like using Adobe Photoshop Fix. The application is completely free, and once you get the hang of it, it's really easy to use. Oh, and if you do plan on editing photos on an iPad, I highly recommend getting yourself an Apple Pencil. It's the best tool to use with the healing feature on Photoshop Fix. I have been using the Apple Pencil for years, and while I don't really use it to take notes or write, I do use it every day to knock out these tiny specks of dust. Once you've been doing it for so long, this whole process becomes a breeze. This particular photo did not take me too long to fix, but there are times where I spend at least 30 minutes on a photo, zooming in pixel by pixel. Well, that's it guys. The editing is completed. I will now save the photo to my camera roll and will have it ready to post the following day. I hope that you were able to learn something new from this video today, and if you have any questions, please leave me a comment and be sure to follow me on Instagram to see more of my content. Until then, take care my friends.